Good evening, good evening. I want to welcome our viewers. All right. What a beautiful song here. Good evening from the Francis here and so talking like Lpr-Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. Welcome, taking you to Grand Bassett, Buchanan, City here. Yeah, if you are from Grand Bassett County, we say good evening. We're chipping in Buchanan. Somebody, one of my friends said Buchanan. We're in Buchanan this evening here. This is LPR, the traditions of Liberia must go on. Live right here. Good evening. Welcome to the show. I want to welcome to Madamata Yowit. Good to have you. I didn't get my Father Day message, but I think I'm going to get it on the live here this evening. But let's take you to Grand Bassett County with the beautiful gospel music by Missionary Biotikia. All right, let's pause it here and get down to the business. Oh man, what a beautiful song here from Liberia, from Grand Bassett County, keeping it fair, balance, and visiting every aspect of our culture, society, and the country Liberia. They are also good side of Liberia. The Liberian music are very, very much inspirational, and so we always like to showcase it here. But sometimes because of the rare flag we get from eBay, YouTube, as you know, we live stream on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and all of the major social network. And sometimes these people restrict their songs, so that's part of it. But we want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe right here. This is the Diaspora Informative News Magazine, Liberia Public Radio, and Lpr-Tv. Sunday's editions with Lpr-Tv Live with the Analysts. They will be here, and we will begin to scramble to right here on this network. Welcome to the show. Let's get the ball rolling right here to this little heads up.
Good evening, depending on your location. I am Afonso Zayn Salt of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. We want to thank you so much for your commitment to this network, being here with us every night, every afternoon, every
Good evening, good evening. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. I am your host and presenter, Lee Anchor, right here on this network. I'm Afonso Zayn. So what a beautiful Sunday evening here in the East Coast. And my guess, you are also having a great time here. The analysts will be here very shortly. And some of them have assembled. But I gave a warning here. I told them today is a Father Day, so they should declare unilateral ceasefire with Tabata conversation here. But I'm going to see how the liberal wing on this network going to see that. Now we are hearing a lot is unfolding here, fighting within the system. The rescuers, what is happening? We are getting some more fresh development, and we will be having those information sharing right here. I want Francis answer. We say thank you to all of the fathers. The layaway father, the inside father, whatever father, some kind of way you are father somehow, some way. We say happy Father Day. And for those of you that send other the best wishes today, that was great. Yeah. So somebody called from my bro, happy Father Day. Then they put their butt. So I say, you call me to wish me a happy Father Day and you want me to pay you for that? Nah. But anyway, it is what it is. So we say good afternoon, good evening to all of our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you for sharing your Sunday evening with us. It's 7:41 Eastern Standard Time right here from the New England Bureau of the Liberia Public Radio. If this is the first time, we say you are wholeheartedly welcome. This is the Diaspora Informative Information News outlet. We are not in competition with anybody. And we strongly believe no one is in competition with us. We are just who we are, and we will remain who we are. We are just about ourselves. We prefer quality than quantity. Because the quantity, that's where the the pojo. I used to stay in Sando before with my aunt. So pojo, when you eat there, when the cook you swallowing for you eating pepper soup and rice, be careful. Even the baple, the little term that other than that, God forbid, you will even end up leaving the rice. So we believe in quality here than quantity. And this is why our language here is, we don't fine tune it in the sense that we want to speak to specific days because you are Washingtons or you are seditions or you are, I got a funny name for the ANC folks. Somebody, Jerry Bacon said they are 1%ers, but we got to, I don't know, we got to find a name for them. So we don't fine tune here to appease you because you simply want to listen. There's so much ongoing, and so we need to keep this conversation fair, balanced, and proportional, and not to be judgmental and be so emotional or sentimental. We hear A, you hear A first, and then you draw the conclusions, you run at a judgment without giving the person the fair share by asking, by finding out, by giving them the opportunity to also get their side of the view. But don't get me wrong, we have folks on this network who are also determined to raise and protect their own alligator. So there are two independent voices here. The liberal wing from the closer to Massachusetts and that of the California liberal wing, they are doing everything possible, carrying on massive recruits to liberalize this network. And that's not going to happen on our watch. So Dr. Mally Jones and myself, one of the disappointed reactions, also trying to come closer, but we want to keep our eyes open because like the liberal said, they're quick to put their foot in your mouth. So we'll also keep our eyes closed to watch that. But we say good evening. We say welcome to Mr. Root, one of our Primetime listeners. We say happy Father's Day. Let me just go quick through here. I'm going to be bringing in my guy here. Regina, as a rule, we say happy Father's Day. Let me see here. Elijah, I'm going to try to go. Today is the main day, by the way. Family, good to have you. Namesake, Alfonso, happy Father's Day. And of course, Garwin, the liberal. Okay. Garwin, say happy Father's Day. Victor, and all of you, to Robert, says Rita, good evening. Thank you. So that great message in the group chat. But we're pushing some stuff. Vasco, good to have you here. Say happy Father's Day. And one of the liberal fans is here, Venetia. I will say happy Father's Day. No bad wish for a child. We intend not to leave no one behind, even if we do not agree with them. Folks, let's get a ball rolling right here. Let me bring in our guys here. This is the Sunday's editions of Lpr-Tv Live with the Analysts. Welcome to the show. Okay, let's get a ball rolling. Let me bring in Mr. Jerry Bacon. Jerry Bacon is a strong supporter of President Jose Newman Waikai, the President of the Republic of Liberia. I don't know what is happening within the system. Though some people jumping down from the rescue train without parachute and trying to break their neck, but they try to be politically correct. We're going to have some of this conversation. Well, it was a fascinating conversation here, but I'm not sure. I did not start it, so I would be very careful in terms of how I talk about it but there were some specific questions I didn't hear. But bottom pretty well, there was some tough question asked, but I just use some of the follow-up, and I will do myself a good favor to activate Martin Corley. Hopefully to reach out, and he appeared on this network one or twice before, but I know he's a basic young man, but to also have the opportunity to question him. But I think from what we are hearing, since the evening, there's some neverness within the camp, seeing what is happening. This is how the process starts. This is how it starts, and gradually it degenerates into something. And I'm hearing a lot of folks calling, acting like a babysitter, child want to cry, the child hungry. You need to find food for the child. The child not eating from morning to 12 o'clock, and you say, hold on. The food will come. When you should even open the fridge, get a juice, get a yogurt, give the child lunch. You're not giving the child lunch, you are telling the child to hold on. Jared Barkham, good evening. Welcome. Happy Father's Day, my dear brother.
Oh, wonderful to be here. All the radio listener, TV listener would say Happy Father Day and would say thank God it's Sunday. And one of the scriptures said, honor your father. One of the 10 commandments. So thank God we are here.
You try to be more sort of scripture guys on this. Is that the new directions of this? You either quote one scripture, liberal will come and quote is it? Is that a kind of way to appeal to people so that these guys they are more or less religious minded, and so whatever they say is authentic will put you on your side. Is that a new strategy you're trying to deploy here?
Oh, no. You see, you're the red wing on this show. Maybe you have forgotten your history. The Liberia were founded on a religion base. So let's get that one straight. Even the great United States, they, look at all the down. God with us.
Liberia is a secular nation. We follow the Constitution. Say we were the people.
Liberia, who they were. So let us not go there this evening. But I just want to say, it's a Father Day. And all the fathers out there, thank you for all your contribution. I know it is tough to raise children. I know it is tough to be a provider. I mean, it's collective. The women are also our anchor. So I say today's Father Day, but I want to say thank you to all the mothers out there too. Without y'all, we cannot make it. So I just want to say thank you. Even today is our day.
Yeah. They are the rock of the home because we do a lot of tabata crazy thing, but they keep hanging in there. It is why it is. The thing about it to society, the ingredients and the recipes of society is so vast. Everything can move on smoothly. Everything move on smoothly. Then it's not a society, and that's not a world that we live in. We are in a convoluted world, so we're always going to have this sort of mix of things. Things will happen. Some people will feel hurt down the road, but that is okay because they are the thing that constitute what society is all about. Am I going wrong?
No, you're right. At least I will agree with you on that part.
You always agree with me, unless you are a liberal group. You're trying to be in denial when we speak out these independent mind, even though it hurts people. But it's better for people to know than to be caught unaware, and that's the courage is. Both of you guys are lacking. The liberal group on this network who are doing everything to protect his or her own alligator, and so we'll try to do that. But anyway, happy Father Day again. So how you spend the day so far?
Well, I stay home most of the day. Unfortunately, I didn't go to church because I was tired from traveling. That's not an excuse not to go to church.
Which
I rested the
5 days ago from Seattle? What are you talking about?
You know how long it took. You know how long it took from Seattle. I mean, I bless God to give me a safe arrival. So, but I did not go to church. I don't want to lie. And today is Sunday, so I can say I went to church. So I will lie.
Because you're gonna lie. I just sent a message to your home, and it told me already. So you knew. So you knew what was coming. If you lie, well, you're gonna put it around the screen. So, what did you do today? What you ate?
Today I stay home. I watch most of the soccer game. I watch the European League. So that's what I did. My granddaughter was here. She spent some time with me, and parent came and took her. She was 18 months old, so she came and terrorized the house, and she left.
Okay. All right. So
I ate fufu and soup today, and that's what I ate.
Don't tell me you didn't eat rice.
No, I'm not eating rice. I'm not eating rice in there.
You will eat it though.
No, I got 10 more minutes. I don't eat after 8 o'clock.
Please, don't go there.
I'm serious. I'm gonna call my wife. Or I'll bring her here so she can answer it. After 8 o'clock, I don't eat. That's my policy. Except when I travel I'm out of state, that's only different. But when I'm home, basically I'm home after 8 o'clock. I don't try to eat.
What's the dessert you can get?
Notice that before 8 o'clock, I do all I can. By 8 o'clock, I shut it off. I'm done for the night. I'm done for the day.
One of these days, I'll make a surprise visit around 7:30. I will wait when they facing the desert. Then I carry my camera. So I got to have a physical evidence before I talk about that.
That would be glad. You can even put a salad in my house at my wife. No, after 8 o'clock, I don't eat.
Okay.
Almost 30
Oh
so
man.
many years. I don't eat after 8 o'clock. I try to.
Oh man, let's leave that one there.
Right.
We'll have fun out. Okay, well, again, good to be here. I believe rest of the analysts are going to be here. We also know that today is Father Day, so maybe other people chilling. But the greater part, we have obligation to our audience, to our viewers, to our listeners, to the society and community in terms of having some critical conversation here. We sometimes uncomfortable with the audience, with a follower, because they have their style like you. And so sometimes, they wish that would go their way, but that's not the traditions of this network. We always like to have these critical issues. I took a little bit time today, this evening, and monitored Comrade Martin Colley's interview and all of that. But for some of you who are more or less the liberal, and you see that nothing is wrong, everything is okay, you're flowing with everything, but there's it's glaring that there's been some sort of there's a problem within these administrations, from messaging, from how the policy, how they arrive at some issues. We are getting to know more of that. But again, just before coming, there are some folks in the executive mansion who are not happy with what is happening, and I think I don't want to jump to conclusions, but they seem not to be happy with all of what Comrade Colley is putting out there, because there were some of the things that were discussed. But I think he's speaking your mind, and we're going to see where he went wrong as well, and what people think. You always have a sort of a divide, or in terms of people who they support. But do you think it is time that this administration sort of recalibrate to get on the right footing in terms of executing, lifting up to some of the commitments, like you and many others, calling for this sort of change, using this code name to rescue? I don't know the actual interpretations, whether it is different from mine and you have your, or there is different here. Is this train actually rescuing people?
No, that's not, yes, it is. It's doing the best it can.
You're not sure of your answers.
No, I'm not dragging. See, why you always try to suffocate me? When I try to give my answer, you always try to suffocate me. Please. But here's the thing. To start everything is not an easy thing.
Start what?
And to start anything, people used to different lifestyles, and you try to change it. It is not an easy thing. So there's an outgoing government, and there's a new administration that's coming in, and she bringing her all the ideas and everything. So it is not an easy thing, So I pray that we'll get it right. Am I satisfied with everything?
No. Don't look for faults. Don't pick on God. That's not something.
I never used the word God. I have not used the word God yet.
Who do you pray to?
I say I pray.
Yeah, to whom? Who you praying to?
I pray to the Almighty God that will find means.
I'm correct.
Will find means to get it right. I mean, there's some missteps. Yes, of course, about knowledge here. I do counseling. If anybody who has alcohol, drug addiction, first of all, you must acknowledge your wrongdoing before you say, yes, this is what I want to do. This is what I have done. Even if you go before a judge, if you want to see for sympathy, you go to a judge in the criminal justice system and say, Your Honor, I'm guilty as charged. I'm here at your mercy. Probably you were supposed to go to jail for 15 years. Probably you say, okay, you go and serve 7 years, or maybe you would do it on a probation or low contender. So I know there's some missteps. We acknowledge that, but that's not going to derail the entire
what is
entire
the
government.
what is the intensity of this misstep you're referring to? How severe these missteps? You say something kept repeating itself over and over. You could do it once, you do it second, okay. But when it becomes a pattern and consistently happening, do we still see there as a misstep or lack of leadership management? You
No,
came, you came on this pedestal of a vast experience. Knows how government work. The system going to be changed. You're going to get things moving, running, and you brought a boat. Is that boat still in Buchanan or River says where you took the boat?
the boat still there. It's still from the beginning. They're still crossing. They're still using it.
Who using it at Yombly and who use where they carrying people?
Oh, it's typical from Idana to Buchanan, to Lower Buchanan. If you ever familiar with Fortsville, you go right Idana from Idana, and then you go to
So
mhm.
so it means this rescue at one side of the country are going to rescue. What happens to people in Sano, Bola,
You see, you see out of context. You asked about Buchanan. At that time, Mr. Boakai was not the president at that time when he donated that boat to the people in Grand Bassa. So he was not president at that time.
So he's president now.
Thank you.
He's president now. So what happens to the other places that need boat?
It will come. It will come. Eventually, something will happen to them, but you can say, I'm going to do everything today. Everything going to be done. No. So you see, you always need the whole thing. You always try to be antagonistic. Yeah, go ahead.
You say it will come. People are across the river at the bank of a river waiting to cross to get their stuff, and you're telling me it will come. I don't know the longevity of how long. We have gone over 100 and some more days now. It will come. So when will it come? You have an idea?
Did you listen to the president yesterday when he went to Kakata? What he said in his speech? That would be roads. So even if you not put a boat there would be roads. You listened to him yesterday? I think I sent it on the chat room what the president said when he went to Kakata, the break ground yesterday. What he did at the beginning. Let me say beginning. Kakata. What he gave Kakata, BWR. He said he will raise the BWR to either junior college level or to a college level.
I am not a fan. It's will. It's been a long time I've been here. I want to see things
that to start a program, So you see, things cannot just fall one day at a time, one time. It takes time. It takes time. You build a house. No. See, you build a house, you got to do the foundation. First, you got to find an engineer to draw your plan for before you build a foundation. Then, when the engineer finish drawing it, then you got to find a location where you're going to build a house. Then, after the location, then before you start digging foundation. So it's a process.
So
maybe you think everything can just fall from heaven. No, it is not.
You didn't explain it to us like that. Or you just say everything is going to be automatic, hit the ground running. Why you're running, we don't know. No, but on a serious note here, there's some level of discontent breeding within the party. Day before yesterday, there was something our live youth, our guys, they interview people. It doesn't matter the size of the people interviewed, and Carly himself was speaking about it. The few people who fought for this revolution, and that's what it's all about. This is where my disagreement is with people. Oh, we're talking. Nobody's talking for me. These people, they are talking for themselves. They profess to be an advocate. They think they're going to do it right for people. But ultimately, they are doing it for themselves first and foremost because they put their life on the line. And that is fully understood. But from all indications, there seems to be a discontent and some sort of breeding, unusual political breeding is ongoing within the system. People, job, other people doing other people's job, other people not satisfied. Now, this president, will we see in the next coming days, weeks, or months to kind of make some administrative shakeup in the government so as to show his political strength and his leadership? Because we remembered not only necessarily opposition, his people are whining and crying now. But you here, you and the liberal, You don't see anything wrong with it, which is okay. You always take a defense line, which is okay. But do you think, let's turn this camera off, do you think it is time for this president to get one step ahead of whatever he's doing now? To make the people to feel the presence of a rescue train, not a distorted train.
Maybe listen well. Maybe you don't listen when probably won't come on the show.
Okay, I get ear trouble.
Thank you. I said it before. I did Friday. Friday. Let
me bring your patron.
Friday.
Senior political analyst Terry Collins is in the house. Happy Father Day, my dear brother.
Happy Father Day to you, Mr. So.
Happy
and
Father
to
Day, brother.
Mr. Bacon.
Yeah, welcome.
You can call him Washington. It's not, you know.
That's my little brother. That's my little brother. I mean, I really respect me. That's my little brother.
Yeah, carry on.
Oh, but yesterday, I said it before. I will say it again. Maybe listen very well. Maybe you want to listen very well.
What a night.
I said it on Friday that for the economy to grow, we need a shovel-ready jobs. Let people start working, and when they start working, things will fall in place. I read now the job situation.
Who is going to create those jobs? It will start. Who should be?
That's what I said. It's our administration. It's our responsibility to create jobs. I said it. I said it here. It's our responsibility. The administration.
Let me bring your friend. I know you're not saying he's so he's here already.
No. But see, you always not want to listen. And you always just want to listen what you want to listen to. When somebody give you what they want to say, no, it should be said in the way that you want it to be said. No, that's not how it works.
No, I'm not.
I'm not answering the question to please you. I answer the question the way it was supposed to me. That's how I answer it. That's what it is. So just take me to
my audience.
It's Father Day. You need water to drink.
I have
you brought water?
Okay.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Let me hold you there.
The temperature can come down a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, because you guys not giving me the answers and the audience, the reaction, what I'm saying, they are outraged. Mr. Collins, deliver. Happy Father's Day.
That now you know today Father Day. That now you ready to tell me Father Day, the one you called me earlier today, the kind of Father Day message you give me. You want me to repeat it here?
Go for it.
Today, the way you were telling me today, the thing you were telling me, thing you wanted to you don't know that our Father there?
What did the Father say?
Okay. But anyway, happy Father's Day to all of you guys. Thank you very much.
Happy Father's Day, man.
Hey, Mr. Nimland, good to have you here. Happy Father's Day. I'm here with these guys again, but we'll see how it plays out here. So, Mr. Collins, you one of those who's taking a divided role with these two gentlemen who are always in the business of protecting their own alligators. Even when the alligator is trying to swallow them up, they are in denial. Whatever it is what it is. I can't change that. I have talked and tired. But there's a clear indication on this train here. The train here. What's going on with this train here? Why are people jumping down the train when the train is in motion?
How many persons have jumped off the train? Give me 10 names. Give me 10 names. How many persons have jumped the train?
Why are you getting so nervous? Terrorists.
I want just when you say people. When you say people, that ain't more than one person. So give me 10 names.
I'm not in classroom to call people names. I'm just.
Okay, but as a journalist, you know, where's your source of the information?
Oh God. So okay.
Yeah, so Martin Colley was labeled as John Rambo. Do you know that John Rambo in the movie Move Alone?
No.
He was always
who labeled him as John Rambo?
That was his political name during the campaign time.
Mm-hmm.
He was the rescue Rambo. You didn't hear that name?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know
but now I'm listening.
Who sanctioned it as well? Was that the rescue fighter? Or
yeah, it was approved because of the way the guy displayed on the internet and went after all those variables that was against the process of the rescue takeover, or the rescue campaign. So he fought those gurus of that was in the stratosphere of the Liberian political landscape at the time, like the likes of Henry Costa, or Benson V, and all these guys. Martin Colley was the Rambo. But one thing about the Rambo character is that Rambo always fought alone. Rambo was a guy, Rambo always fought alone. Watch the Rambo show, the Rambo movie. He always a one-man army. He always fought alone. And Rambo left war business. Everywhere war is, that's where Rambo will go. Rambo he's not involved with staying with one place for too long. No. But to be honest with you, Martin Colley has some very important points that he laid out, but where he could not actually define was that the main reason why he left. So based upon my own analysis, like I said the last time, he also said it on the show there, that when the Best Loyalty incident arose, when a woman lied on her document.
I'm going to do a quick interruption. Liberal, don't panic. Yeah, go ahead.
When a woman lied on her document and Martin Colley was able to bring all that information.
Yeah, go ahead.
When Martin Colley was able to bring all that information and President Walker did not pay attention to it, in fact, they swept it under the rug. Martin Colley, like I said, Rambo is his own man. Martin Colley decided to disembark from the movement of the president. He decided long time ago. This is just something that was under the water ever since. Martin Colley dropped the ball long time ago. And he said it today on the show. So I think that, Martin Colley wanted I think he felt disgraced when the president did not pay attention to his sessions, his findings on Best Loyalty. This was where Martin Colley felt, because it was all on the internet, the president did not give credence to it, the host did not give credence to it, so Martin Colley felt he took it back. And because of that, I think Martin Colley going to be a threat to this government. He's going to go all out. He's going to expose this government in many things, because as far as he is concerned, the government did not live up to the expectation. So psychologically, Martin Colley was disgraced, and that could be where his trouble is coming from. But whether if he's giving the proper analysis as regard to the stance of the government, everyone will look at it to be something that what all the callers call. They say he need to come back because why? It's too soon. It's just 6 months gone in the government and you withdrawing.
What you Terry say?
Well, from my own view, right? Every human being have a way to respond to things, and you have to know where people break. There are some things that when you say or when you do to somebody, it breaks them. And Martin Colley breaking point was when his analysis on Sarah Best Loyalty was not adhered to, was not paid attention. He felt that he lost hope in the process. He felt that, all his work he was doing was just in vain. So he got frustrated. That was Martin Colley's breaking point. But what if what he's saying in general, whether if it is true now, it is sufficient enough for him to disembark from the rescue train? In my own view, I don't think it is sufficient enough. I think that there was a point.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. You are already a presiding judge. Evidence or whatever argument presented by Mr. Collins, and I will try to do myself a favor to reach out. I know he's a busy guy. Hey, Evans, happy Father's Day. Good to have you.
Happy Father's Day to you, Mr. Collins, Mr. Grease, Mr. Baco, I know what I say, and Mr. Toe. Happy Father's Day to you all, gentlemen.
You saw the
Yeah.
yeah,
Happy
you saw
Father
the
Day.
before I bring in the labor, you saw the message I put in the chat room, right? With this Father Days, no, there should be no tabata.
Yeah, should be no Tabata.
But the man dressed like Toma Fala. I don't know why Toma Fala. So, anyway,
I mean, we are
Who's Jonathan Tabata? The labor?
you look at Toma Fala tonight. I don't know.
anyway, you.
I didn't deputy speaker.
So listen, do not allow the guy to distract you. You try to get ready off the ball. The liberal.
Yes.
That's your saying. Let me just quote you. You telling people always living from what is the tallest building in New York again? The jumping without a parachute and people now flying. Your friend Jerry Bacon is asking me to go back to do my 1, 2, 3, how many persons to name and all of those kind of things. I don't have time for that. But if I hear is the train has now reached the destinations, and some of the chief architects that brought this train into place now, they are dismantling, moving some of the springs and tire and whatever it is now. That's a concern, right?
Thank you, Mr. So. Again, to all the audience, the fathers out there, happy Father Day. To the mothers who played the role as father, happy Mothers/Father Days to you as well, because I know many of our sisters are taking care of our kids. I can, like, when we're gone, they take care of the kids just like the father would. So I better make that point clear. Mr. So, I did not read what you put in the chat room because I don't want to be in the chat room. Tabata is my business, and Tabata is what I'm going to do. So please, you're not going to restrict me here.
I reply here. Anyway, forget about it. I took care of that.
Thank you, Jeff. We're gonna have fun tonight. Thank you, Jerry. Oh my goodness. He gets in and we got him.
What that the Mali? You just leave it alone.
He can't count. I told him not to practice his PhD on Lpr, so he goes somewhere else. No, look, let me say that, Mr. So. What is happening, what is unfolding actually in Lpr is very concerning, to be honest with you. There are two things here. The platforms that these people go on to make the pronouncement and what have you, they have to find a unique balance of exposing corruption, between exposing corruption and then you turn into a station, a platform to incite Liberian against Liberians. You have to find a balance because this thing is getting over the top. Where you have Liberians cannot even afford meal, and you have these people being exposed for taking certain amount of money and what have you. Where is the balance? These people are going to have to find a balance. The Witherspoon, those who come on the show to accuse the government or government official or whatever, senator, whatever, they have to find a balance. Because if not, you're going to sooner or later, you're going to be recused of Radio Kigali. Because if you come on every day, say, look at you. You don't even have a place to stay. Look at this person. He's using your money. And when does it become an assignment? So those are two things that I think, I mean, that's the balance. And they're doing a great job. Don't get me wrong. But they have to find a sweet balance. Yes, another thing that I want to talk about. President Baka, for me, is in a tough spot. These people...
42 years experience?
Excuse me?
42 years experience in government?
Mr. So, I'm on your show. I respect you as a moderator, but I think the liberal is on the floor. So I didn't say Samson too. I said the liberal, progressive is on the floor. So let me make my statement. President Baka, for me, he's in a very difficult spot. On one hand, if he comes out and say, I don't want to listen to these people that are making these kinds of statements, the criticism and what have you, there will be those that are the insider will use that opportunity to do some bad things, Because now nobody says he's not listening to the people who are exposing these ill behavior. President Obama now have indicated, in my mind, to those who are in the bubble that are doing these things, well, now it's, oh, you're not even listening to them. Let's do whatever we want to do. On the other hand, if you listen to it and try to take action, who's running his government? Is the critics running his government? So anybody Samson can come and criticize, and President Obama is going to take action. This is what a true leadership comes about. And I think you are seeing the true leadership in President Obama. He has not responded to any of us with all the heavy criticism that we make. At the same time, he is not in a bubble. And these people that are behaving the way they're behaving, I think somebody told us here last week that when they met with him over there in Atlanta area somewhere, he said in 6-7 months, those that are running right now, the ship going to be turning around. People going to be changed. That's the leadership. So I just want to point this out that I think when we criticize, that's what I always use the word, when you criticize with responsibility. Because you have to find a balance of you not being accused of radio Kagari and at the same time doing your job to expose the ills in the society. So, Mr. Sewell, the liberal is the political guru, and I will always do my best to balance it out here on the LPR. And I think I don't see Ma Esther on here tonight. I don't see many of your supporters, everyone on here, they're on my side. So I think it's a good holiday for me. I think I will do my best here tonight. Thank you.
Elvis, here we go today. Today's Sunday. Today's holiday. You have Jerry Bacon, Terry Collins in the middle. The liberal already posted in the gallery. Let me just bring you. You listen to the liberal analysis. We're going through your mind.
First of all, let me extend my Father's Day. I know it's close to the next day, and I brought to the father of our country, President Joseph Yuma Boyka. Happy Father's Day to you there. But what's going on through my mind is I want to kind of echo what Terry is saying, but I'll give a little spin to it. You know, Martin Colley has actually been discredited. There was a LBDI governor who was the governor of LBDI Bank, who was under President George Weah. He said the guy didn't have credentials, he didn't graduate, he didn't get the degrees that he said that he had.
Would that be Davis?
I don't know. I think his name is like McDonald. Some kind of name. Well, recently, Front Page published an article stating that this guy is not living and working in Switzerland. He's the managing director of a bank in Switzerland that is a multinational bank. And they did a thorough investigation on his credential. And he passed with flying colors. And he's working for a multinational bank. Also, Martin Colley exposed, or at least attempted to expose, Alice Chessier Grant, the now superintendent of Grand Jury County. President Boyka, in his wisdom, chose them to be the superintendent of our county. And even after some people from the diaspora and within the county were against it, the president held firm. And like Terry said,
So let the man speak, please.
No, I'm telling him he is part of that group, so he knows what the liberal is part of that group too.
You're part of the group that they didn't want to really be superintendent. And then lastly, like Terry,
not part, but he provided fundings as well.
Okay. And then just incidents of that group. Like Terry was saying, even the foreign minister, Madam Besley Yanti, she has been accused of not having the appropriate credential. The president never hesitated with her. He pushed her nomination through. So like Terry was saying, this guy, advocacy and whatever he think he was doing, or whatever self-importance that he felt like he had, is not holding weight with the president. So like Terry was rightly saying, he's been ostracized from the inner circle, and his importance has been overstated in his own mind. He has inflated his self-worth to the president. So by he became redundant in his president's government. But lastly, let me talk to you about Radio Kigali, like you're saying, Mr. Toe. I've had my reservation about Stanton Witherspoon's phone network. I've said it here openly and on other platforms. I look at things deeply and I analyze it from within. The reality is we don't want to over sensationalize the news. And that's what they do over there. They over sensationalize things. They make it into like a drama. They try to dramatize the news where you have one side and bring the other side, and Stephen is there saying that this is about the Liberian people. We're only trying to, trying to incite people into a frenzy. And the reality is Martin Colley, I hate to say it because we're all important human beings, but he's almost irrelevant on the political landscape of our country. And for you to bring this guy on and try to pit him against the president and make it seem like he's even close to the caliber of the president or people who work in this government to be holding this president feet to the fire is wrong. But people like Stanton, they're like a Yucca Coluba. I put him in the same boat of Yucca Coluba. They always want to be in opposition because they know that's what's going to drive people to the platform. And that's why I like this platform and other platforms that don't sensationalize the news, that is more even kill. And I'm always glad to appear on these kind of platforms because I don't like people who come in and try to gin up the public and over, dramatize things when it doesn't need to be dramatized. So Terry, I know you're a big fan of Spoon. You're always sharing the show in the chat room. But the reality is, this is the Frankenstein that you guys helped to create. You've given Stanton this inflated ego, even though he should be sitting in jail, but you guys keep pumping him up and make him feel like he's the voice of the entire nation in the diaspora. And he brings these people on to pit them against each other, to give some kind of drama in the country when there's really nothing there to be dramatizing. So for me, I just look at it as more of the same. We want to come on a platform like this where we can have an honest discussion, have some camaraderie, and it's not this guy against that guy and then we're fighting each other. I don't like that. I don't think it helps the nation at all. But I'll leave it there for now.
Okay, we are getting some information here. We're going to be getting to them as well, relative to what is happening, that is unfolding. So let's get to the Genesis, how this started. We want to look at the pros and cons and what he call it. As a matter of fact, I will try to reach out to him to have a conversation. I listened to the conversation this evening. I'm not sure, maybe I missed the questions, whatever it is, but it was a great push, but I still have few things to ask him. Let's do it on the playing level field and start here. Terry, you are in the middle. I'm not really counting on Jerry Bacon and the Liberal because they are five of reality with respect to how they see things and stuff here. But Colley, and it's quite true, he's been very forceful from the days of Helen Johnson's salute, that of former President George Weah. Was he a mistaken thing on spot in his career as an advocate? Because you advocate when you change directions, when you pivot, when you switch positions, like in the case of the Liberal, and this is where I see myself as an independent, because for them they made a proclamation that this is the person that I'm supporting. Once you are altered that, your independency is diminished. You have a side, you have a fish to fry into this. You will sanction people's voices. You will not allow them to talk justifications of the Liberal actions that when people call him, he says he get a Chinese food. So he wants for people to talk what he wants to hear. That's not what I do. Do you think Martins was there any mistaken thing on his part? In as much he and many other wanted Weah to go, but to play the role that he played, that other on the other side, free thinker would say his advocacy is compromised. So here we are now, train in motion, going over Dual River, heading to Sano, passing through Grangida, maybe Maryland, Cavara River, and you're jumping down. There are big wild animals in those rivers. You could get something could happen. Do you think it was a mistaken thing in the first place by he taking a definitive position in as much coming out front with that? Do you think that was a mistaken thing on his part?
Yeah, that was a mistake from my view, especially after 6 months. it's too soon. All right. It gave the opposition the teeth to bite. You know, it gave the opposition the mobility, the momentum. In fact, if I were president, we are now, I will begin to prepare myself to come back. You understand? Because
Oh,
it just revealed, it exposed the rescue train further, and it gave the opposition the opportunity to feel that they can come back and do something, even though I believe they can. So I think there was a different approach that he should have taken. He was, and again, when you are young and not experienced politically in the political terrain of Liberia, these are the things that you do. Like the likes of Henry Costa, you see, brilliance must come with experience. Brilliance must come with experience.
and maturity.
Education does not cut it.
Yeah, and we can add this other layer on the maturity.
Maturity, Mr. So,
Temperament.
you
The
know,
liberal know that Jerry Bacon, they are not aware of that. But you're going to hear what they will say for themselves. The position you are taking right now, the liberal and Jerry right now,
Who's
they are
speaking? Jerry speaking, or you're going to leave the conversation with Jerry?
No, don't worry about that. Terry must say in a conversation. That's an interactive conversation we're having. Terry, go ahead. The liberal is never
so he rushed. He went ahead of himself. And people like experienced people like Owen Booker, they will allow certain people to drop off. Certain people that were just fake, that were temporary. With time, they themselves will expose themselves and they will begin to drop off. Then when the real time come now, there are other people who are not supposed to be there that didn't want to start enjoying. So you got to have wisdom. It is a prideful thing. But I disagree with Labor on the issue that Standard Waterspoon radio station is going to be like Kigali, Radio Kigali. Liberal.
No, I said, if they don't find the balance, they should
Right,
be
I got it.
balance.
But that is too harsh. That statement you use is tantamount to causing chaos, because we all know what Liberal. I mean, we all know what Kigali looked like when President Weah came to power. People who started to speak against him on social media, all of that, he declared them to be enemy of the state. Radio Kigali is almost like an enemy of the state. So we cannot. It's too early, in my opinion, for us to start using those kind of words. And to Evans, I am not. If I'm not, when you say I'm a fan of Spoon TV, no. If you watch in the chat room, I post OKFM, I post Punch TV, I post anything that I watch, that I see that is a need for us to discuss or for us to listen to, so that we can be informed and abreast, with information and what's happening in Liberia. So I don't just post Spoon TV in. You go there and check my post. So in my opinion, Liberal, that is what I think of Mr. So. Yeah, the guy was he went ahead of himself, and I think it's going to bite him in the end.
What a perfect analysis. Jerry Bacon?
Yeah.
Do you agree with Collins?
Listen, yeah, back on my said at once. I'm not going to dignify Collie, so I got other things to talk about.
Was he dignified before? Previously?
I said I'm not going to dignify him. I said I'm not going to dignify. I said before I answer whatever. Whatever the situation is. I said I'm not going to dignify him.
So you choose not to answer the question.
I said I'm not going to dignify. He said what Collie? I said I'm not going to dignify Collie. So I'm done with that. That's
yes to my question, or I just want to make sure.
What was your question? What your question say?
I asked you to Terry's analysis. Do you agree with Terry?
I said I'm not going to dignify Collie issues. I said what I have to say about Collie. I'm done with it. I'm not going to dignify Collie issue. That's what I just said.
Yeah,
but anyway,
yeah, we'll go Boash and go ahead.
Yeah, what I'm thinking. Here's what I thought about today or this evening. I listened to Musu Scott. It's an interesting issue, and also our legal foundation. All what we're seeing on the network is counter legality, the legal issue. And today she was giving what? Compassion leave I know what it is. Maybe a little I know about
You
law.
didn't ask your people why it is. You can't ask her here. You don't know.
No, I have next of research. I don't know because she also alluded to it. I listened to her interview, and she said,
I can explain it when I get a chance. I will explain it.
compassion leave, and the how you call it? The judge gave her compassion leave, and the president approved of it. And as I was listening, and I tried to find, what about the law book, maybe the little one that I know about as a legal pressing, and I couldn't get it. And it is time for us to really understand our legal system. Let our legal system, if we have any other fault in our country, this is the only large government that we should trust. It's the judicial system. If the judicial system is not effective, man, we're not going nowhere. But they have to be independent. But anyway, election have results. These are some of the results we're getting.
So, meaning
Jovial won the election. That these are the people that he appointed on the bench. So that's what I'm talking about.
Well, Mr. So I know you want to go to Mr. Two. Let me just introduce it. Then
So that is been my concern. I listened to it. I listened to her interview, and I was shocked. She herself said this is not going to be an end. She was pounding the table that this is not going to be the end. And if whatever will do, be generation after generation. She came from Maryland. She showed her ethnicity, where she came from, who she is, and everything. So it's about time for her to look at our judicial system. And I think I said it 3 months ago. I get an article coming up soon. The judicial system.
Please clarify. Are you saying she was wrongly convicted?
I didn't say that. I said she said she was compassion. She wanted to know what is a compassion leave is all about. If you go play, listen to her. I didn't say she never said anything about her conviction. The only thing she said was
she's going
to fight. Go ahead.
Do me a favor. Take up your partisan guy. Let's have a holistic conversation here. You listen to.
I'm not doing anything on Palestine right now. I'm talking about. I'm not no partisan. I had never belonged to a political party. The only political party that I ever belonged to in Liberia was CDC. I'm not a member of Unity Party. The only party that
all of you brought the whole trouble we in to get us to be where we are.
The only party, the NGPL, the two-week party.
No,
I'm talking about the other party. I never belonged to none of them. The only party that I would belong to, I helped to form was CDC, and I left CDC. Since then, I have not joined no political party.
Thank you for bringing Joe. We had the power.
Hold on. Under the watch of who?
What do you say, sir?
You say the only party you have to form was CDC. Under the watch of who?
I said I never said that. I said I never belonged to any political party. The only political party that I ever belonged to it was CDC, and I left CDC. I have never joined no political party.
No, because CDC I have multiple people. Tubman, the one that brought Josh Weir to power, is that one I'm just asking.
I was there before Tubman came in. So Tubman came in late. Tubman was not a member of CDC.
So you one of those who brought Josh Weir, correct?
I said it over and over. I said, if you want to put on my casket, to bring on my head of my casket, you can put it there. I said, yes. I had not denied it. I never disowned it. I say, yes, I brought CDC. We'll help to fund CDC in Philadelphia. I say, get a document right here. You want me to bring it? I can scan it and send it to you.
No, I don't need it.
Oh, okay.
Liberal. It's mixing. Interesting conversation. The Liberal is kind of a little bit disappointed. I see he get a handful that I didn't know what you're hearing from him. But let me just bring you in here. We're gonna come back to the college conversation, but let me just go back so we can keep track of our conversation here. Do you think you as a Liberal, your son too is Henry Costa? These people. I'm using your own words. Do you think Mr. Collins changed in his advocacy to take a definitive position? Whatever reason, he can best explain his reason and see what is unfolding right now. he said it today that when he calls the president, there is becoming a sort of a pattern where there's a disagreement. This president, when you call him, he will not most likely answer your phone. This is where the agitation, the frustrations, and the heartbreaking are. In my own word, he didn't say that. With colleagues now speaking out. And just before coming here, we are also getting the multiple interview quite correct. The executive mansion is not happy with what is going on. And my guess, we're going to see in the long term the consequences of being completely disconnected with this project. That what Terry was talking about the experience. But do you think, Collie, there was a mistaken thing on his part to just remain as an advocate so that his movement is everything would not be restricted? But here we are, they brought him into the system. And I'm going to come to the second part. There is another version of him. And I want to give him the opportunity. I will reach out to him to see if we can have that conversation because I didn't see that question coming for the most part, the one that I listened to. But do you think that was where the mistake came from? He was mistaken to come out publicly and say, oh, I'm supporting this train?
Thank you, Mr. So, first of all, let me welcome CDC Professor. Was continue, but CDC Professor, the spot is still here. You can still come in and we'll have a conversation. You're part of this platform. You're a member of the family here. And let me just say something to my own little brother, Evis, because he was saying, hey, Mr. So, before Mr. To come in, give me a chance. Let me say, this is not radio station here. This is Liberia Public Radio Station. You can say, hey, Mr. So, before Mr. To come in, give me a chance. Let me say, the Crown radio station here. I don't want to let you know. So let me go on, Mr. So. Look, on a very serious note, Martin Colley, just the pictures that I was able to save almost 3 years or so, or 4 years or so ago, where this young man, at that time, I believe he was at the college studying, but he had economic books as high as you can say 4 to 5 feet on both sides of him. And then I recognized myself, that's why this young man, when he writes he writes a lot. He reads, and he's very intelligent. Mr. So people like that, when you have them on your side, I'm not saying to pacify him, but to make sure that these people are getting information that will be helpful to you. President Bakai, Henry Costa stepped outside of the culture line as far as I'm concerned. What did John Monroe do for him to be pushed out? He got pushed out by this young baby that I call baby, what's his name? Amos Tue. And I was on Amos Tue here for almost a week when he tried to denigrate John Monroe on Spoon Talk. Unacceptable. If President Baka had utilized John Monroe, even though I think John Monroe is sometimes he's very abrasive and things like that's okay. It is for the people. Everyone that is complaining about Baka administration, all the mistake they're making, who front door do they put it to? Grace Street. Grace Street has never been part of the unity, part of the rescue train. Grace Street was always on the other side, but they are friends. And I think it's about time that President Baka made it public to the Liberian people, including the young people themselves, that yes, indeed, he's my friend, but he has experience that I want to tap into. You cannot remain silent on these things and think they're going to go away. There will be more shoes to be dropped. And the sad thing is the more they allow the drip situation happening, they're going to hurt them. They're going to hurt them. Even though CDC is an inept organization, CDC is a completely useless organization. I'd like to put their foot in your mouth. Well, this is Sunday, not a part of day, by the way. So I would say they like to put their hand in your mouth most of the time. And so for me, but they are intelligent. They are very smart, intellectually good people. And when these people get hold of information, they will use it against you, and you will not believe what hit you.
All right.
I'm saying to our rescue team, look at the kinds of money they went over there to Grand Bassa County and Amara Corner of all people. The person who many young Liberians.
Maybe the token, Jerry Barton said the rescue boat is still in Buchanan, so maybe that what took the money.
So the Libra is on the floor.
Okay, so let me work after me.
Can I finish?
No, wait first. I don't want somebody to come and then, folks, the real show is about to start.
Oh,
the independent
Dr. Mali is here.
and the independent voices
Finally,
in the house, then the conversation becomes fair, balanced, and proportionate. Welcome. One of the most independent.
You're going to cut my statement up because of you're going to welcome someone who is advocating for capital punishment, someone who is saying that Liberians should be hanged on poor. This is the person you're going to cut me up to welcome.
He's my co-host.
Oh, he's your co-host. Okay.
Dr. Morris, welcome. They have been praying, they have been fasting that you left and you're not coming back here. So now Jerry Barton is disappointed. Carry on, the liberal.
So no, just to wrap up, Mr. So, and welcome, Dr. Mali. Thanks to have you, but you guys don't frighten me anyway. So thank you for coming, Mr. So. Just to wrap up, look, President Barton and his people, they need to take this thing serious. They cannot remain mute on these things. They're going to have to respond. If it is not in totality, but at least address some of the concern that these young people have. This thing going to catch on fire within your own group. This thing going to catch on fire and it's going to hurt you. And the most person that are going to be hurt by this is those who are seeking for this thing. These people going to get hurt, and I think they need to take it serious. I don't know what you're doing with it, with it said here, but you're getting me blind. That's all it is. Thank you.
No, not bad. Okay,
That's
Dr. Mara, welcome
that's conspiracy.
to the show as usual. Thank you for being
Of
here.
course. I know them.
Father has denied their request of you not showing out. The thing they was in good place, they were happy. But Elvis, I'm not sure whether the both gentlemen number one from Rhode Island, the gentleman number two from California, the other the Liberal State. Did they address my question?
No, I mean, I wanted to address something else, but I just wanted to elaborate on what Mr. Barton was saying. I'm almost flabbergasted by what the former Minister of Justice and Supreme Court Justice said. There's two what do you call compassionate, either a compassionate release, which is when somebody is on a deathbed, the president can grant them compassionate release to die at home with their family if they've been serving, maybe a life sentence in prison. That's a compassion that the president can extend to that person. And then you have compassionate leave, where the president can grant for a short time. It may be that maybe the child is dead, or maybe the child is dying, and the president can grant that person like a weekend to go and say their final goodbyes to that loved one before they die or after they die. So for her to say she doesn't know what it is, that's a commonplace in law, especially when it comes to judges. They can, people can write for compassionate release or compassionate leave. So she should know what it is. But for me, I think this is suspicious, and I think this is a foretelling of something even greater that's going to be very egregious on our justice system. The fact that she was released to go assess damages that was done to her house that was burglarized, I think is outrageous, because this lady is serving a life sentence. It hasn't been overturned. So as far as we're concerned, as the law stands, she doesn't own any properties, because her civil liberties have been taken away from her. All of her rights as a citizen has been taken away from her. She is not a state-owned property. So what house is she going to go assess damages in? As if to say she's planning to be coming back there very soon. And I think my foreshadow is that this president is intent on reversing that decision and possibly releasing the former chief justice, of the Republic now, inmate at the Liberian, prison system, possibly releasing her and reversing the charge, the conviction of murder. So I think we should really look closely at it, because if you can't, that one thing you can't give a pardon on is murder. Every other thing you can pardon somebody, but not murder. So releasing her for her to go sleep in her home, simply for her to address, the damages that was done by somebody that burglarized her home is outrageous. So I just want to clarify those points. But again, on the St. Martin issue, the reality is he bit too much. He bit too much, or more than he can chew, and now he's realizing that a bigger fish than him in the governmental pond, and he's being pushed out of the pond. He's too small to, and the bigger fish is taking all the space. So this guy needs to go and do his advocacy, but he should do it honestly, and not feel like because you're right on two, then you can be wrong on one. If you're going to expose anybody, make sure the information is legitimate and you can verify it, and people who fact check it will make sure that will know that it's a truthful statement. Don't do the nonsense that he did with the former LPDI, governor, and a few other people that he questioned their credentials when Tom came and those people was proven to be actually, rightly credentialed. So for me, I think this guy is going to fade away, or maybe he need to take a sabbatical from politics, focus on his study, get some important degree, and maybe he can come back and work in government. Nobody can tell him that he's just an advocate and he doesn't have any kind of degree to stand on. So it's politics as usual, and I'll leave it there.
Okay, we're going to
Mr. So, please, just before you bring in Dr. Miley, just on a very serious note, 1 minute, please, less than a minute. Last Wednesday, when I opened my show, I made it clear that this madam, the former Chief Justice release, I thought that those of us that support this rescue train, should let it go and not have a discussion about it.
Why?
Mr. So, because if we do discuss it, we're opening up a Pandorian box that most likely will hurt us.
How you guys are selective in the conversation. Why were you, Terry? Why? Something told. I have to call your phone name. Something told from Town. You are telling now you are trying to make this network Republic of Grand Gideon. This is Liberia Public Radio. You are telling us to do a selective conversation now because you have the fear your side will be politically hurt. Terry, I have to stop in here. Do you see?
No, but bring Dr. Mada in now. Let's forget that one. I just throw in there.
So you pleading the fifth? You want Terry to speak?
But the man's not being arrested. How will he plead the fifth? If little time you plead the fifth when you are being arrested, you are being charged. You're being
I don't know how much you're paying a guy on the network. Yeah, defense lawyer.
They may plead a political fifth.
Dr. Malik, good to have you here. I don't want us to mix it. We're going to come to the Gloria Mususka, her own. That's a different thing. I want us to wind up with this whole colleagues, and then maybe we can digress a little bit here. So, like I said, I will try to reach out. One of the things I didn't gather today, whether that question was asked, is Martin, he was appointed by the president. And of course, Terry, if I'm wrong, so obviously he becomes a public figure too, because that job, as his recovery, he made some good point. But what I didn't hear, the question that I didn't hear probably was asked, and I missed that portion, as to whether he calls on the president. And I think the committee that were appointed, they should have led that charge and set an exemplary role into this here. So I want to know whether Martin Colley himself, had ever made a public declarations of his asset, because I try to find that picture. He got a very huge, maybe working. I don't want to be judgmental, but whether he himself Yeah, it's all about the equity we are talking about. You can't have it both ways. You call on the president, you're member of the committee, who will be leading these charges, who will prosecute these charges. I didn't hear that question coming from Kiatama and Mr. Waterspoon. And I think he himself needs to answer that question. And like I'm telling you, this is where the furiousness is coming from within the executive mansion, and because the system, if you try to fight against the system, why it is true, I'm not saying what he's doing is wrong, but it's been done halfway. You have to unveil yourself. You also have to open yourself up, and then you can set a illustrate a good example of yourself. Yes, I accepted it because I wanted to do this, but you can't hold bazooka on the other side and then you say you want to wave Ikamok flag. Let me bring in the independent mind because he can perfectly dissect this thing here as compared to the liberal and his Jerry Bacon. Dr. Mali.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether you listened to Mr. Colley today, Martin Collins, and we were just talking, leaving his government of advocacy, he gets into public life, as a public servant and a government official because he accepted that position, even though he jumped out of the train now. I don't know who was driving that train, but he was very careful using some words. They hijacked. They hijacked and the hyenas, and we know that why it means those are animals that goes after male, females, or whatever it is. But so why this person who is leading that train? But the question here, why he himself didn't make public declarations of his asset? It was his own. It was out of his own that he generated his asset, which is great thing. But did he go about to ask how he acquired that? He wants others to do it, but I don't know whether he has done that or whether that question was asked. Now he's out of the train, the vessel now. I don't know. My understanding, you're going to replace him?
Well, that's a very good question, but quite a difficult one. The Martin calling issue, I think we are going to go back. I'm going to take the panelists down memory lanes again. Joseph Boakai, 40 years will be examined by the type of decision he make and the impact of the decision on the society. Bringing in Martin Colley, like I want to agree with Jared Bacon, I see it as non-entity, to be very frank with you, and wasting time on it. But Joseph Boakai, His Excellency,
is independent man on the network.
I said it. No. I'm giving my independent view. Martin Colley, I will respect him if his entity will ever register with the Republic of Liberia and he paying taxes. The issue of credibility is very important here in Liberia. All right. If I should listen to Liberal to lead me into engineering, and I know Liberal went to school, he graduated, and he will honor, I can listen to Liberal. Martin Colley, is his entity registered with the Liberian government? Is it legitimate? Or we have come to validate his stand? So Martin Colley, I consider him to be, I sent to do a research on Martin Colley, whether his entity will even valid or register with the Liberian government is zero. Zero. I stand to be proven wrong. All right. So I really don't want to go into it. He's doing good thing, but register it with the Liberian government, pay taxes, where we will try to now see you are credible when you're doing something. You see the platform, the LPR thing is legitimately registered. You see, we're not doing no fake thing around here. No. And the CEO can show you his validation credential.
Who CEO? You mean the board chair?
Okay, the board chair and the CEO.
There we go.
But let's move. Let's move closer. I called my lawyer today in Liberia. after I listened to the former Chief Justice statement, I didn't find problem with her statement. I found problem
analysis going beyond the borderline.
I found problem with the role of the president.
There we go.
The role of the president is telling me that there's something wrong with the 40-year experience. My lawyer came back to me 5 o'clock today and said, Mr. Marley, there is nothing a compassionate lead in our judicial process. There's something like clemency. And so the whole Liberia, especially the intellectuals, are taken aback why the president did not use the word clemency. He's using compassionate lead. He had just exposed the judiciary to danger in Liberia. And as a politician, if His Excellency was a real tough politician, he would have just backed off from this thing and let the judicial aspect play itself out. Because what's happening now, it gives so many questions in the system. Why is the president that we keep saying President Baka has got all the experiences? He's not tough. He's not proactive. He's not pragmatic. He's taking decisions that will jeopardize so many other things. And this thing now, Gloria is even challenging the compassionate lead thing. Can you imagine that? That's a slap in the face of His Excellency. The woman who you're trying to let go, the woman is even challenging this phrase. You see, it was a wrong decision. I'm telling you, this is a murderer case. Let the judiciary play itself out. The president had one tool on his side. He would have come to grant clemency to this woman. All the arguments that are coming on here, it will not come on because we know the president has that power. So objectively speaking,
right,
the president, in my thinking, he more of a cultural traditional leader than the typical tough, provocative executive president. Because there are too many mistakes being made down the line, or because His Excellency is actually not a tough politician. He is not a politician. A politician, the decision you take will judge you by the type of decision you make. Yes, Martin Collins knew all around. He brought him in. Why did you bring this man in? Controversial LBI boss were all over the place. CDC dropping. You brought him in. A tough politician. The papa is very, very, His Excellency, he's very, very compassionate. And this compassion going to cause his government serious problem.
The conversation is on the way.
Yes.
Making news, fair, balanced, and proportional. The liberals are here. The independent voices are here. The Weoshin are also here, putting it into context. Look, Dr. Marley, and one spoke of a former government official, also spoke on the same whole thing that the Unity Party-led government mismanaged. And even there was very, very much surprise for the president, because we all know this lady has provided legal services to this before becoming president, to the Unity Party. This thing could have been handled by the Attorney General of the Republic of Liberia. And there are so many things that you could coin with it without the president or the executive mansion. But it is another classical example of mismanagement of information. And Dr. Mali really put it into context. Probably could have been executive clemency. We saw what Helen Johnson Sirleaf did to her son. You could have moved in that direction You could inform people, lawyers, people do a research or whatever. It could be on medical conditions and all of that. But there are other many people who have also been convicted. They are felons and they are in jail. The reason you go to jail is your civil liberties being seized. You become restrictive in your movement. So how many are people from the Sano, from Lofa, from Grand Gita, from Maryland, in those convicted felon that their house leaking and they need to get zinc? How many of them has gone and they're going to hire people to repair? Come on, guys. Jerry back on, you can rub your hair, do whatever you want to do.
I brought it up. There's a reason why I brought it up. So if I rub my head, it doesn't mean I'm in alignment with you.
Yeah, so what we're doing now, the independent minds are unveiling it. You brought it up and you give it like a salad dressing composition here, which everybody upset. Terry said is not happy with you. You saw Elvis, you saw the Labour. But seriously. So
at least is it that matter reason with me? That matter reason with me.
Yeah.
And this
Marry not with you. Don't say crime shit.
So what you said?
No, seriously.
Make a point.
Listen, if you are just watching,
I'm not here. Look,
oh man, like
Mr. CEO. Let me be very attentive. I'm not here to please you. I'm answering the question based on legal. Yeah, answering the question based upon my legal statement. That's what I'm doing. I'm not just doing it because I want to do it. That's what I brought it up for. So everybody might have their opinion. Even if you go before the judge, we'll go before the judge.
Yeah. So
everybody will have different opinions. Even let's look at the Second Amendment or Third Amendment or the Fifth Amendment. You know, we'll have different perspectives.
Yeah. So here is my position.
Okay.
I'm also on an obligation yet not to make our audience to live with apprehensions. This is why. No. It is my job to put finger in your esophagus to get all of the answers. You have the right not to. You have the right not to answer it. But look, on a serious note, I think this is the government. They made a big mistake. Yeah, they made a big mistake. Lead the thing with the Attorney General, do all their little stuff, and then you wait on the Independence Day. You're not just going to get her up because this woman argued. This woman was the one that jailed the gay Breeze and other people. They were sentenced for 10 years, and even other people got blind. Why she never when she was at the place of justice?
She said that somebody was killing her dog. Said it not put it to jail.
So why that sort of nothing that happened? Then you put her in jail, convicted less than a week, and she can't inspect to see who broke her gate. That's a complete disrespect to the laws of our country. And now she's coming back to say, oh, she had never seen that, because probably it is fair to mention it is within the purview of the President of the Republic of Liberia. Whatever you do to grant executive clemency. And perhaps it would have been very good with around the Independence Day, set out a good podium, maybe something too can be on the right-hand side, Jared back on the other side, no bulletproof jacket, and give a powerful speech, and get about 10 or 15% cross-country, get them released, and she could form part of that. But they didn't do it. Here we are again. Elvis, am I going wrong here?
Sorry, let me just turn my fan off here. I think my understanding, again, I'm no lawyer or no legal luminary, but I think my understanding is you can't grant clemency for murder. I think everything else you can grant clemency for except murder, which is a capital offense. So I don't think he can grant her clemency because she was convicted of, premeditated murder, and she was sentenced. So I don't think it's within his purview. But like I was saying, I think what this government is trying to do, like you rightly said, she was working on behalf of the Liberty Party when Yomri Kanga Lawrence and Musa Belete was going to court over the Constitution. She was one of the lead attorneys that was, working for the Liberty Party, the Yomri Kanga wing of the Liberty Party. So certainly that wing of the party aligned with President Boyka. So many people speculated, prematurely, but now it's proven to be somewhat correct, that President Boyka would have found a way to get her out of jail. And now we're kind of seeing the precursor to that, releasing her on compassionate leave, when in fact it was nothing egregious or nothing that was, in the legal term, what is it? Time is of the essence. Where if I don't go see my son, who's dying of cancer, I won't have the opportunity again. You're going to go see damage done to your house, which is not a living entity, which is something that can be repaired by a emissary that can be working on your behalf to repair it if you want to get it done. So they're just releasing her from the conditions of being in prison. And as far as we know, the legal system worked and it found her guilty based on the weight of the evidence that was presented. If she goes through the Court of Appeals and she gave a strong case, it could be overturned. But why not wait for that process instead? Even if you want to give her a lift, you can speed up that process and get her appeal quicker. And even if y'all want to do something on Mango Mango and get her out of jail, go through the legal process. Even though many people will question it, but at least it will be something that will be seen as being going through the legal, the legal wranglings of our judicial system. But this whole thing, giving her compassionate leave to go assess damages done by intruders in your home, is ridiculous, Mr. So. And I think you're right on point. The only thing I would say, maybe I need to be double checked. You can't grant clemency for murder, as far as I understand. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's my understanding. I'll leave it there.
Okay, so let's bring in the liberal, and we just looking at all of these possibilities, and of course we can verify that, and that's why maybe we are going through the prison ball. It could be on medical conditions. I mean, the possibility, but he was just supposed to stay out of this whole thing. The liberal.
Yeah, Mr. So, thank you. Look, I really don't want to make comment on it, but I will say this here much. Like I've always made this statement here on this platform. If you know you don't know, say you don't know. But if you know you don't know and refuse to know that you don't know, these are the kinds of problems we have. Before President Baka, hopefully, what he should have done before getting involved in these kinds of consult lawyers. But if you have this one man, everyone is complaining about that he wants to run everything. And I'm putting it right before him again, because he's the door between the president and any other thing that is happening. Why will you allow the president to make these kinds of judgment, clemency, or whatever it is, and if it is not in the Constitution? If the president is going to pardon somebody, I bet if they have taken their time to consult legal practitioners, they most likely would have found way to do it legally. And I'm not saying this is not legal, but at least that would avoid all of these things. And this is why last Wednesday, I came out here and I said, please, all of us that support the rescue train, this subject matter, including the madam herself, this subject matter should not be anything for us to discuss. And you can go and search my tape, you will find that. I said, once it's discussed, you will open the road and open the door for people to challenge this system. Because for me, even though I'm not a lawyer, but to have this kinds of claimant, whatever it was, I didn't see it coming. These kinds of stuff, if they're going to be happening, put it in the paper, public domain. Let people just put something out there. Let it be rumors. And let people discuss the rumors. And you will find which way this thing is leading. Now that you are opening this door, and listen, I've even listened to her, but from what Jerry has stated, pretty much like questioning what is this? Because in her own legal mind, these things do not exist. So where do we go from here? It is because of the inept behavior of those who are hindering the president. Our president are putting us all of us in mess. Look at the kind of thing we're coming to. I coming to stay. I even get. I will let her talk. I can't stay here and face Mali. And can I stay here and face Evans? They'll be speaking all the book here to me tonight, and I got no reply to that. Mr. So these are things that we find ourselves very difficult thing to deal with. But again, we can deal with it. We can deal with it. So, like I said, these people, we should have just let it go.
Yeah, your
We should
friend.
have just let it go. Let them discuss it.
Liberal.
We'll pay no mind.
Liberal, we don't sanction voices. Yeah, we allow people to speak their mind. This is your guy, right? Mr. Nimle. First of all, there is no way you can sweep this under the carpet. Doctor, wake up for him. Put in your mind.
Look, can I come in, please?
Yeah, please, Jerry.
Can I push back a little bit on the Liberal? Just 1 second.
Oh yeah, you're my co-host. Washington away.
He keep late. Let Jerry speak.
Let them do it Monday our time. Let them do it Monday will be our time. Let them go ahead.
Our time.
Yeah, I think.
You know what you just said?
Yeah. CEO, I think the Liberal and Mr. Bacon, for now, Terry, we push the net away a bit from him. The Liberal and Mr. Bacon, I think the problem here now is that they keep beating around the mountain. They just walking around the mountain like the children of Israel. They can't go straight. You see? You cannot blame a president with all that wealth of experience on the people that are around him. So where is the experience? Where is it? Let's just be straightforward. What the president has done is just wrong. Let them not put a blame on nobody. Those people that are working with the president, they're not controlling the president. The president is a wise man. He will tell you, say, oh, the thing you did like the last time, this guy, Prophet Key issue, the executive mansion jumping into that thing. As a president, wise president, you will even stop. No decision come from that place that President Barker don't know about. All right? You stop it. Oh, you cannot jump into the judiciary thing. Oh, you cannot do this. So you want to tell me that where is the president 40-year experience? This is where I'm finding a very big problem. So let her not accuse the children around the president. He's a wise man. He's controlling them. They're not controlling him. Except you tell me, Liberal, that the team is controlling the president. Except you tell me that tonight.
Yeah, I think you need to get some water to drink.
Can I respond? Can I respond, please?
It might not go well with you at all.
Can I respond?
Put in your mouth, yeah, they even.
No, that man, you're not putting your phone in your mouth.
Okay, Mr. Bacon.
See, can I talk?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. See, the thing here is the Attorney General. You alluded to Attorney General. The Attorney General is an independent, even though he has been appointed by the government, but he's an independent man. I mean, we see it here. He's a swing door in and out. He recommends what need to be disposed or what to be kept. So the Attorney General play a significant role. And the second thing here, we have central government system in our country, whereby the district attorney, the county attorney, and the central government look at it. The case happened in Monserrato County. The county attorney, which is represented by the Monserrato County, all depend the magnitude of that case. The county attorney can say, we're going to prosecute it. Or the central government said, no, we're going to prosecute that individual. Or the district attorney, or wherever that case might have occurred, or that crime might have occurred. But coming to the release of that individual, or to pardon the individual, first of all, you got to consult the Attorney General and the county attorney, or the district attorney, or the legal advisor to the president, or forget about the legal advisor, but the lawyer that is assigned to the executive mansion. So these are collective for team that put together to be able to make the decision and make the recommendation to the president. Or if the county attorney feel that their case, maybe if we go for retrial or we're not going to lose it, we're going to, throw the case away and say, because, we'll go for retrial, we don't have money to sponsor it, or we don't have the expertise to do these things. So therefore, these are options that will come if the near rise for the president to make such a decision. But I do not know how the decision came about to say compassion or parole, compassion, release, or whatever.
Are you disappointed?
No, I'm not disappointed. It's a legal system. It go through the process.
Are you disappointed of the process, how it came about, and when it shouldn't have even happened? That's what I'm asking.
No, I'm not disappointed. What I am saying is how it came about. I do not know the genesis, how it came about for the president to arrive at that decision. That's what I am saying. I'm speaking from the legal perspective of it. I do not have the file before me, but I'm judging it the way that I listened to her statement. So I am saying who are responsible for this.
Wrong or she right?
About what?
You say you listen. Now, you listen to it. We are providing the analysis with the hope to get. I will bring in Terry. That's what I like about Terry. You listen to it. We are providing the analysis from what we listen. We must have a stand. Don't count.
No.
You try to hang us here to be
one thing.
And all of that.
How much of the little knowledge I have of legal system, I'm not just going to make a bold statement whether the president was wrong or this was wrong, but I'm speaking. That's what I'm telling you. The president, he have an advisor, all alluded to these people. How did they arrive at a decision? I cannot tell you. If I'm disappointed, I don't know, because at this time, because I have not gotten the whole. The only thing I listen to the defendant or statement, also challenging the government that she's going to do everything at all means.
Okay,
it's not the end of the case.
The one potentially to be a beneficiary here is challenging the legality or the process being deployed by government. That would give all a little clue, a sense of where this whole thing is going. So I'm asking here, you listen to it. We have come to the analysis here, and people want to get a takeaway. Okay, you as a Liberian, do you see that as a fair thing? Or do you think the president is the president? Do you think the president know, or he doesn't know what is happening?
I'm not in the office of George the president. What I in the office to know what's going on? I don't know. I'm not in the office of the presidency. But what I am saying from the onset, I am saying it from the onset. But anyway, let me conclude something. Let me conclude something before you go. I know you're going to go to other panel. You see, Martin case, I said I'm not going to talk about. I just want to make some little history perspective. Maybe we have forgotten. 1979, Jimmy Carter, rescue, failed, mistake. They called casualties. They want to rescue the hostages. How many?
In Iran, right?
Thank you. Right. I know. I just want to say, because they say, "Oh, Baka made mistake." Those who are making a mistake. So I just want to put it in perspective. I just come in, sir. Can you give me a minute, please? Just 30 seconds. George Bush, Iraq war, weapon of mass destruction, 0. Bill Clinton, Bin Laden. He had a view to kill Bin Laden. He never did. What happened today? Bin Laden attacked America.
No, that was George Bush the senior, not Bill Clinton.
No, Bill Clinton when they bought the mail factory. So this, I think people made mistakes. Is it justifiable? No, but people made mistakes.
Point of correction.
People made mistakes.
Mr. Bacon, point of correction.
Yes, sir.
No. We cannot make comparison with tier war analysis with 21st century modern government.
No, I'm talking about mistake. I'm not talking about
those are military miscalculations, not legal things.
Point of correction.
I'm talking about president.
Yes. Okay. CEO, let's get back to the Iraq war.
But
hold on one second.
Let me finish the point.
All right. Those are politically motivated issue.
Let him finish the point.
Liberia, it's a legal
issue. You know where he's going to land. Now you're going to jump in and try to attack that.
Liberia, this is not your show. I'm a co-host. The issue in Liberia is a legal issue. It's not politically motivated. Liberia, you got to respect my title as a co-host here and give me a break.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank
You
you.
see, the people are wondering. Look at what Mr. Johnson is asking here. Said, look at people are what going on with Mr. Toe tonight. Mr. Toe is having a bad Father Day. He's regretting why he come on in there where tonight. Co-host, go ahead.
Yes. So, Mr. Bagon, you're not making use of your co-host position when your show come on. They keep you in the garage until that show over. Our owner leader. Ubesi kept in the garage like His Excellency when you were VP. Our owner show in that. Right? So the issue, the illustration you're bringing, those are not mistakes. Those are politically motivated things. They think in Liberia. They're not mistaken. It's not mistake. Okay, even the bringing in of Abraham Kuroma. You think His Excellency don't know Abraham Kuroma is a Yulumo K commander? He fought in the war. They're not mistake. You know. That's not mistake. Are you
okay, so let me break in Terry here because we can get something good out of Terry. In the intro, we fair here. Mr. Bacon.
Yes, sir.
Was there any point that you wanted to push through before you concluded, right?
No, I just wanted to make sure people made mistakes. Leadership. People made mistakes. And this leadership, sometimes you made mistakes, you be able to rectify some of these mistakes. So I just want to put that leaders have made mistakes in the past. It's not the first government, or maybe Baka will not be the first government. Or we can even look at even our government in Liberia. We can look at Toba government, we can look at Toba government and see there was some mistake made. But mistake will be ratified. So I'm not justified. I'm not here to get justification what I have transpired. But what I am saying here is people mistake will be made. We are somehow here. We are super basketball who hold your position. So
the government from day one has been making mistakes, Mr. Barker. Mistakes after mistake.
Okay, let me bring in Terry. Terry.
Yes, sir, Mr. Sir.
So yeah, the issue of Gloria Musu's cat. That's was that a calculative or political mistake or strategic mistake or orchestrated mistake? Is that what they want us to believe or what?
Well, I don't want to agree. I'm not going to go in a way of what people will expect tonight. I don't want to agree with Mr. Mate because first of all, you have not told who the lawyer you talk with. But what I have before me, what I have before me is information from a lawyer and a judge. If you go to Front Page Africa, you read it, the information is there. On the platform, I don't think none of us here are lawyers or judges. The people with the legal minds brought the analysis to the table. And one of the lawyers said that going to assess losses and damage is not enough ground to grant an inmate a compassionate leave. So which means there's a possibility that an inmate can be granted compassionate leave. So Evis, you need to go back and do your research. And what's more troubling, they are going to use taxpayer money to facilitate her leave and provide her the needed security. Now, this lawyer is not debating that it is not possible that the government can give an inmate compassionate leave. But his analogy is that the condition under which he's giving this leave is not sufficient enough to be granted a leave. But a judge said, I try to tell you that a judge, because a judge is higher than a lawyer. So listen to what the judge says here, but a judge who also asked not to be named said to the Minister of Justice, said the Minister of Justice has the prerogative to grant an inmate a compassionate leave. Once the minister deems it fit, he can grant an inmate request for compassionate leave, the judge said. That unquote, according to Front Page Africa. So, I know the seditions that put a woman in jail, all right, does not like it the way it's happening.
No.
So, obviously, they will come up with all kind of political rhetorics, political analysis that they have no understanding about, to lash on the government and say President Bokar is proceeding wrongly, President Bokar is doing this, President Bokar is doing that. This woman requested for compassionate leave. She requested for it. And it is the prerogative of justice, of the temple of justice, I'm not a temple of justice, but justice minister, to grant her the compassionate leave. And that was what was done.
So, Terry, we have said this thing. Did I hear you saying the sedition put her in jail?
Yeah, the CDC put her in jail, CDC government.
So, was that a CDC coast justice system put her in jail? Is that what you're saying, or what?
Well, what I observe, what I understand is that it was a CDC-led government that put her in jail. So apparently they said she killed somebody, and she's saying she did not. Under that leadership, there were a lot of discrepancies. We hear that there were jurors that were paid to come out and testify. However, yeah,
jurors don't testify; they render verdicts.
No, listen, I didn't say I heard that jurors were paid according to the propaganda to render the verdict. Yeah.
No, hold on. You know,
Terry, we got to provide the facts.
Wait now, I'm coming. So
you are doing good, but you come and join the
yeah, no problem. But because everything that CDC government is discussing about Bokar do this, Bokar do that is all based on propaganda as well.
So
what President Bokar did, right? But I don't know if he was involved because I don't have no.
Check out that. Yeah, you see. Going on there,
the phone get there, too much.
The phone, I
Yes, somebody calling me. Somebody was calling me. I know that somebody was calling me. I know that President Bokar government, all right, will not grant this woman executive clemency, knowing very well that she's on a murder case. It's too early for President Bokar to grant this woman executive clemency. So it would be very wrong. I myself would not agree with it for the president to grant this woman executive clemency if it is clearly proving that she actually was part of the death of that little girl that stayed with her. If the president grant her executive clemency, I will call it justice with compassion, as the way this lawyer is calling it here. But the president, because the president don't want to do that. You want the law to take its course because Gloria Scott have already taken a appeal to the Supreme Court for the case to be properly adjudicated. So that is the reason why when she applied for compassionate leave, the justice granted it to her. Like the way you said, Mr. So, that if you thought the president no, the president is not going to give her executive clemency. This is the death of somebody. He's not going to be biased. So you will allow the court.
You think somebody bringing your house is warranted for compassionate leave? You think it's warranted?
Give me a chance. I'm not going to flow with you. I'm not going to agree with your opinion. This is not an opinion matter. This
I did ask you a question, my man.
But I'm not a lawyer. Yeah, those who are lawyers and judges are the ones who give it. Those who are lawyers and judges are the ones who giving you the reading to you what the law says. And this is front page. Front page have been ready against President Bokar government. He have been saying all kind of things. And the writer here is giving you two opinions from one attorney and another from a judge. So who am I to can't tell you say that it's wrong? Am I a legal man? Am I a judge or a lawyer? So that is why I'm saying I'm only addressing and sticking to taking these two people's opinion as a face value because they are legal minds. I am not. So in my opinion, I think if the justice minister granted this woman compassionately, I don't see the need why we're arguing and accusing President Bokar for being the one to do it. That's just my own opinion.
Oh yeah,
it's not a fact.
Yeah, what I'm arguing and pushing because this sort of syndrome that we have yesterday was also your It was what it means. Helen Johnson said police. It now turned into weird judiciary. I don't know what boycott would be boycott on the immigration or whatever it is. What I'm saying now,
But at
so
the thing the CDJ say, everything Ellen did in our government is that Unity Party government. Right now, everything Boga doing is that Unity Party government. So
that Joe Biden sent his to the jail. Joe Biden sent his to the jail.
That CDC government put Glorious Car EG. Is that not true? That honor
the government of the Republic of Liberia, the government of the Republic of Liberia put her in jail.
You guys
and charged her with murder and convicted her.
You guys are not saying that the government, the one are giving the woman compassionate leave. You are saying that Joe Bucker giving her compassionate leave. So what evidence you got to say that?
Any judge that tell you that the Minister of Justice have the ability to remove people from prison is not telling you the truth. The president exclusively hold that power. So when you say that the Minister of Justice release her, he can't do that.
This is what is reported in front page.
Read the Constitution.
What Constitution? Terry and Elvis. Okay, so this is what we do.
This is not what I'm saying.
Hold on. This is what we do here at LPR. We celebrate. We go out. We share people some historical movement, their forms, their achievements, and all of that. So we don't talk politics. So this is why we take our camera out and see, our kids when they are making progress, when they are doing good and stuff. Yesterday happens to be a big day here at the Goddard Park Station, Park Recreation Center. 2 sisters graduated, and LPR was invited. In fact, we provided a coverage. But guess what? The graduate never waited for the council or even the attendees to make her happy. She held to the ground. Let's watch this. It's fascinating. This video now gone over maybe up to 16, 17,000. Very short, but it was quite amazing. Let's see this. I don't know whether the Liberal and Bacon able to do this. So the 2 sisters and they were very little small in Ghana. Here she is, and she got a Fulbright scholarship. One going to UR, the other one going to Johnson and Wales. I just thought,
She looks very excited.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna wait. I know, Uncle, it was not an easy journey.
Yes.
We came here and we see what happens to some of our peers group. And our mom fought for us. She came literally as a baby, and for us to get what we going through. So at least I'm mature now. I didn't sleep, so there's no way that I can sleep at this time. And to get a scholarship to go to the university, that speaks a volume. So that's how we do it too. After we listen to something to enjoy back on Tabata. We have to recreate ourselves so that we can be able to have a great night, no headache. And it's good. The independent guy came this evening, like the Jones. So the Liberal is left with only playing with the phone this evening. Like you're saying, he's completely locked down. But trust me, guys, you'll come tomorrow night and see. Black Dragon revenge the death of Bruce Lee. Something to end Jerry Bacon. You're going to see what's going to happen. I don't know what everyone's going to join. Everyone, the guy will not allow you in. You see the link that Channing link, so you will not enter.
Mr. Toe has banned me for his show. He shadow banned me. He never allowed me on. No.
Okay, guys. All right. The time has caught up with us yet. It's 9:30 here. Right.
I wanted to respond to Terry if you're permitting. I won't respond to Terry.
We shouldn't be like President Weah and Alexander Kumi respond. Mr. Bacon.
Yes,
Give him
on
respond.
the Mususka case.
Hmm.
I mean, from my observation and from my analysis and from my experience in law enforcement, from the onset, I had some reservation the way the crime investigator investigated the case. I had some reservation, and I think I reading some opinion on it. But that's what it is. And I think one of the guys, one of the lead investigator and the prosecutor, they were on Spoon TV and there was an argument. He disagreed the charges levied against Madam Scott and said it was non proper. And the prosecutor said there was a charges, he was a prosecutor. So these, I think, anyway, she had filed a complaint. She had filed a complaint to the Supreme Court to see how long the Supreme Court will come up with his order, they will hear the case and stuff like that. So, I mean, let us wait and see what the Supreme Court say. That's what it is.
She was former justice. She knows the law. That's why she filed in for compassionate leave.
Okay.
Mr. So, please. Mr. So, please.
Mr. So we gotta push back on it here.
Yeah, let me get my 30 seconds, please.
To the liberal wing, eh?
Of course, yes. Of course, yes.
All right.
Especially Mr. Collins.
Oh, wow. Okay. Let's ever go.
All ears.
Let ever go.
All right. So my question, thank you. My question to Terry initially was, he said he's not a lawyer, but yeah, he's quoting, supposedly legal scholars who are too coward, to put their names to their opinions. My point was, does this rise to the occasion to be granted compassionate leave? If somebody burglarized your house, is it dire enough to be granted that leave to go and sleep in your house while you're serving a sentence for murder? Like the first lawyer said, no. The judge who decided to not be named, it could be a phantom judge, said yes. If the Minister of Justice found it to be, deem it to be so, then yeah, of course he can grant it. When somebody is put in jail, you don't go to the Minister of Justice to free that person. If that person has been convicted by the court of law, the only person that have the power to pardon them is the president. So if you're saying, Terry, that the president has no involvement in a murder case, a convict being released, you have to be joking me. In the United States, where they have a federal system, anytime a person is being released from prison, especially if it's for the crime of capital murder, the governor must sign on to it. If a person is going to be killed for murder, a governor must sign on to that execution bill. It's the executive that make that decision, not the prosecutor in any state. And the same thing, I'm sure, goes for Liberia. Attorney General don't have the decision to release murderers from jail.
You're not definitely.
Cite the judge. Cite the judge so we can go. Cite the judge. The judge that they give you that opinion, tell us his name. But instead, he said he don't want to be named. He want to be anonymous.
Cerelia
So how can we
Cephas, you
know?
listen to him? Cerelia Cephas was on Spoon Talk. Did you listen to him? Sorry, you don't listen to Spoon.
Yeah, I don't listen to
Cerelia Cephas
Serena Cephas.
was a persecutor, was government persecutor. Honor your president, honor your leadership, your CDC leadership. But if you listen to him, he said that the Justice Ministry was in the right.
The Justice Ministry to release her.
Okay.
CEO, can I come in, please?
All right. So we are about to go. I know one or two cases Oklahoma where the governance, the person was literally taken into the place, and then that governance overturned that. Dr. Jones, make a point. Then we'll use one minute for closing.
One point of correction here is that Serena Cephas is not a credible lawyer in Liberia. He owned a State Department sanction, so that had credibility on his legal mind. Secondly, Mr. Collins just said one of the judges.
You have not been this bad.
Mr.
You still practice law in your country.
Well, I don't care. He's not credible. He's not
There
credible.
you go.
He's not credible.
One
One Uncle Sam can take a decision on you. That's it.
But what Uncle Sam took decision on him for corruption, not for his profession.
No. It had implication on your whole, on your totality as a professional man. What are you talking about, Mr. Collins? But
Anyway, proceed, Papa. Proceed,
Yeah.
that.
My question here is that you said a judge who pleaded not to be named.
Right.
See there, I can't bring any reference on the thing to a man who decided to be anonymous. He has got credibility.
What the name of your lawyer? The lawyer that called you, what
No,
you mean?
I said my lawyer. He's my
Yeah,
personal
what you
lawyer.
mean?
No, I don't have to call her name here.
Oh, but
If you want her name, no, I can give it to you behind closed door. No problem with that. But what I'm saying, when we go into the
people don't give up their sources.
No. Listen, no. If a lawyer, the lawyer told the people not to call her name.
Right. The lawyer and the judge.
Coming out, you must say that. What I'm seeing here is that this is not a credible source. What is he hiding? This is a simple issue. And His Excellency is not going to put him in jail, but he fear because he's going to be on a serious, that one of the
scrutiny. You're going to scrutinize him, exactly,
Yes.
Mr. Dr.
And besides that, I want each of us to take time. I'd rather be doing a research on the leave of absence in the legal dictionary and other places. I can't across it yet. So
because you're not a lawyer.
I'm looking at the foundation of this thing. I'm not looking at what has happened. And lastly, to every statement, to support every statement, there is no way such a vital and significant decision will be made by the Justice Minister without the approval of His Excellency. It's not possible. It's not possible.
Can you prove that?
I come in now. And so you tell me now, Joseph Bakati is controlling him. They can just make decision anyhow, anyway, anytime.
The law makes decision for the president.
No, just Minister to release a murder convict. Not possible.
She's not being released.
No, Mr.
Evans, why you eat? She's not being released.
She's been temporarily released
Hold on,
from prison.
Hold on.
I have my last question for Mr. Bako. Mr. Bako stated that president can make mistake. I agree with you 100%, Mr. Bako. So the Mutuska thing, that one of the mistakes the president made. You got to answer. It's one of the mistakes.
One of many mistakes he's made.
Mr. Bako, please answer my question. Are you sleeping?
Oh no, that's sleeping. Oh, I thought you were talking. I thought you were talking.
No, I finished. It's one of the.
Okay.
The president
Yeah, well, I will respond
to answer that question.
The question go to three of them.
I will respond.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I finished. Are you?
Oh, that my closing time?
No.
Can you say, I will just answer your question?
Answer your question, then you can close.
No, it's not a mistake. The president made mistake. It's not a mistake.
It's not one of the mistake.
It's not a mistake.
Oh, thank you. Are you?
Liberal. A mistake? You're not on a witness stand.
Well, I'm just watching you, trying to have everyone else be quiet while you let money run with it. Instead of driving here, just talking and keep talking and keep talking. And when everyone else wants to make point, he said, no, that's not how we do it here, but we allow malice to run in and on and on. Mr. So, I'm not going to dignify that. Whatever Dr. Malice want to believe in, in fact, those are his, according to him, those are his subjective analysis. And I'm not going to qualify that. Those are his subjective analysis. In other words, those are his own. He's entitled to his own opinion. He's not entitled to
that statement. I just asking him. He said one of the mistakes. How
many mistakes will you have? How many mistakes you have?
All right. The gentleman
don't make mistakes.
Okay, the gentleman from
analytical mind.
All right. Okay, that's okay. The gentleman from Rhode Island, the gentleman from Sacramento.
Can I make my closing now?
No, answer the question. Yeah, sure. Yes.
Okay. Good night. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Bad night.
CEO, you got to move on to another person.
You can be
You see that one?
All
You
right,
see?
all right, co-host. The co-host. Oh, we have equal time. We're not agreeing. Jerry, don't you put Jerry, you will talk for 45 minutes, then when 5 minutes remain, then you bring Jerry on. We don't do that. Okay, Evans, you have make it succinct. 1 minute, please. What's your final statement before we go?
All right. Look, thank you again, and happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. I just want to say, this president, in all honesty, when President Weah was running against President Boyka, I told people in our chat rooms in the CDC, I said, the old man might win. There's a possibility. Everybody was being delusional and saying this. No way he could win. And my main reason was that I felt like the Liberian people felt he would be a steady hand, he would be an experienced man. But to the contrary, because now that he's president, he's been making mistakes after mistakes. But I will put it in Mr. Samson to English from Total. He's been putting his foot in his mouth after his foot in his mouth. And he's been making some rudimentary mistakes that, a man of his expertise and his years in government should not be making. And I think this situation with the former Chief Justice is just the latest mistake that has been made. And for anybody to tell us that the former Chief Justice house being broken into, is warranted for quote unquote compassionate leaves or leave, it's tapped to my ears because it's complete nonsense. Your house getting broken into is not consequential to you. It's not something that is so urgent. So for me, I think the president needs to reevaluate. Let her go through the legal process. She has a right to appeal, and then she can go through the appeal system, and she can overturn her conviction. But don't do it in such a sleazy way by releasing her to go see what kind of damage was done to her house. Makes no sense. So thank you for having me again. Always a pleasure to be on the platform.
Okay, Tarek, what's your final department?
Yeah, so it's just good to say that everybody, like you normally say, Mr. Soda, everybody love to protect their own devil. And what is disgusting is that the CDC people, they come on the network and they defend CDC. They don't highlight the mistakes in the government. They don't talk anything. The moment you try to touch some areas where they go wrong, they come back at you. But then they want to cite all the areas that President Boyka is going wrong in your government. All right? And I don't think that is acceptable in my view. For the Martin Colley scenario, it's just clear to everybody that Martin Colley disembarked the train long time ago. And I hope and pray that he returns. I hope and pray that President Boyka listen to these people. Like the first time we talked when President Boyka won the election, I said something. I said, when the injured leave, these are some of the things that we expect to happen. All right? After election, this is after election. There are many people that will drop from the train. But at the end of the day, President Boyka should focus on accomplishing the will of the people. And most people think Henry Kosa is finished. I doubt it. Henry Kosa is going to return. And he's very smart. He's waiting for all the wrong buttons to be pushed. All right? As gradually things are happening, he's waiting for all the wrong buttons to be pushed. And when he returns, he will be more detrimental than he was before. So, and I am praying for that not to happen. President Boyka need to because he's doing some things that I myself don't agree with, but the global Mususcat issue, Mr. So, I don't want to agree with the panel tonight. I don't want to agree with Mr. Mali. I totally disagree with Brother Evans because he's citing places with no source. People gave their sources. Their sources come out without them calling the name of their sources. All the time, journalists do that. And the reason why we're saying these information are credible is because Front Page Magazine is a credible media institution. Everybody in the morning, the first newspaper you want to read is either Front Page or Inquiry. Those are the newspapers that that got credibility in Liberia. So how can you now tell me that a credible newspaper like Front Page, because the man refused to name his source or his sources, that means that these people, the information is redundant and should not be given credence? You know, Dr. Mallett do not have doctorate degree in law. He didn't do law. His doctorate degree is in education, last time I checked. So he does not have the reputable information for this particular stratosphere, for this particular field. He cannot explain in details whether if this particular era if Gloria Mususka applied for compassionate leave, that means that, especially she's a legal man, she understands the ramification. If she did make that application available and it was granted, that means she understood what it means to she knows that it is within the confines of her rights to apply for compassionate leave. And that was granted to her. We cannot blame the president for that, because the president is now walking around and nobody saw him openly saying that I have granted Gloria's car, blah, blah, blah. No, people are just speculating because they want to use this thing as a political gain. To say, oh, or the president do it. We're not going to speculate. I'm not going to speculate. I'm not going to do that. So if Mr. Mallett want me to join him and everyone want us to join them to be speculating that the president was involved, blah, 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 because he saw the information or deputy minister and all the kind of thing, I'm not going to join you to speculate. The Omar said it clearly. She applied for compassionate leave and that was granted. Thank you very much, Mr. Su.
Let's leave it there.
Oh, legal marriage stopped her from committing murder.
Guys,
What a legal thing she know.
you're wrapping up.
She did not commit murder. You can't prove it.
She was convicted. What do you mean we can prove it? It was proven in court she was convicted.
Evans, you guys and your point, let the other people speak, so we will go. Mr. Bacon, 1 minute.
Yes, sir. It's interesting. Well, I think somebody wrote here that instead of president have the power, Article 59 of the Constitution, to pardon any defendant.
The president it doesn't matter. I mean,
so the president had a prerogative to say, well, you are pardon or whatever judgment you want to use or you want to use. It's stated in the Constitution. However, the Sky case is an interesting case. I wish I had the opportunity to go to law school. I would love to study. But anyway, this is my personal observation. I believe, and I always say this, I will say it privately and I will say it publicly tonight. There are a few cases that Jerry Bacon is interested in when I go, which of course I'm going to be teaching one of the university. I already gave me the opportunity to teach one of the university. And the student I want to be teaching criminal justice. These are the cases I will visit. Scar case, Anderson case. There's another case. The one that happened October, that kind of march. The people on Broad Street
during the election. Yeah.
During the election. These are cases I'm interested in. And the fourth one, the personal to me, Newswa case. So these are the cases that I put on my list. And hopefully as I go home to be teaching at that university, and I made my students to do a good research, and I hope the government will allow us to give us
what university is that? LU?
No, I'm not going to call it university until everything is settled, but I may have been offered an opportunity to go to university to teach. So that's one of the things. I will give it to you later.
For how long is the process going to be? Is that going to be all year? I mean, all year round, or just impacting situation where you're going to go for maybe 2-3 months and come back?
No, I'm going to go there for a semester. After the semester.
Tomorrow, if you come on your show tomorrow, you can do that one, please.
Yeah. So I'm giving the opportunity. I thank God they gave me that opportunity. So I'm gonna go home. I'm willing to do this thing. I'm gonna do it. These are the issues I want to really investigate. So, Mr. So, thank you. Happy Father's Day, and let's enjoy ourselves. Let me conclude. See, one thing I like about this show, we all come here, we give our different opinion. There's no animosity. Nobody keep grudge and say, I don't want to speak to the person. I don't want to talk to the person. So that one of the things I like, we are all professional individuals. we had a, we say what we want to say. There's no grudge. So I want to extend that to each one of us. We don't take it personal. So I thank you.
No, we don't at all, except you. And tomorrow when you start the
Is he trouble? Is he trouble?
Okay, so the Libertor good night. It's now to get the voices of the people where the wisdoms is being put out there. One of the independent.
I tell him, Anthony speaking. I thought he was done and we're going to be closing and Jerry was the last.
As a CEO, can you proceed, please?
I don't know why he's panicking. I am moderating, and if I give him my co-host another chance to talk, then maybe he gets something to pull out. So tomorrow you can do your own, pay your debt.
And
So,
yes, sir.
We are about to go home. Okay, you are worrying. You are deliberate. You are worrying, panicking. Whether Esther here or there, Esther is here now. Whatever it is. But I hear you. Let's before we go on. What's your final message?
Yeah, thank you, host. I will always be in your corner and give you all the loyalty you need. However,
wow,
we are allies.
the boy you already had.
Yes. The only thing I want to say here tonight is those are all on the platform. We are not baby. We are not baby at all. There is no way a crucial decision made in that country without the acquiescence of His Excellency, President Joseph Boakai. Such a one of the type of decision. If my answer is proven to be wrong, then I will agree with Liberal and the other people that His Excellency don't have control over his government. And anybody can get and make any decision at any time, just what the Commerce Minister did. And the President had to take overtime job to correct him. The President don't need overtime job in this place. No. This thing was done with the acquiescence of His Excellency. And as a passionate president, he said it was fine. It's no speculation. Joseph Boakai is a passionate president. All right. 1, 2, leave of absence. When will the former convict, since she's getting leave of absence, return to jail? Because when you get release of absence, there is a timeline. The absence will be exhausted. You got to return to work. So when is she going by the handbar? The Justice Minister got to tell us. I said the Liberal and other people tell us that it's not necessary again. Now, 1. 2, the appeal is before the Supreme Court. And the whole Liberia will waiting to see what was going to be the outcome of the appeal.
Yeah,
the Justice Minister is not aware that there's an appeal before the Supreme Court and honor this thing from this woman.
Dr. Mali, only one thing I think they are aware to circumvent the law.
No, not when no. A CEO, you being a bit passionate. They have decided to bury the legal system in our country.
Dr. Mali Jones.
You see? And we cannot sit there to allow that to happen.
No.
Broad daylight, you cannot bury the legal system alive.
Now with the liberals.
All right? So, finally, to my senior panelist, Collins, that man who said, don't call my name, the newspaper got all right to respect it. You know why they will not call his name? So that man is carrying huge suitcases of inconsistency. Now that man get a big problem. This is an intellectual issue. It didn't matter how call his name. Find someone all going to make reference to him. But if you tell the paper, don't call my name. I didn't say front page don't have credibility. Front page is one of the credible people down there. They are just saying exactly what I meant to them. Don't call my name. But why is it that the judge is saying they shouldn't call his name? Senior panelist Collins.
The man's supposed to be neutral.
No. They're not
He's
neutral.
supposed to be neutral legally.
No, they're not neutral. Don't call my
legal opinions are not is the one for your neutrality.
No, it showed that he biased.
No,
If
if I
gave
come
his
to Collins, if I come to Collins,
definitive opinion on the matter, it shows that he's biased.
Okay, Collins, if I come to you and we say about the CEO, I say, but Collins, you coming on the talk show tomorrow. Don't call my name.
The man is part of a legal system that is the judiciary of the country.
You know how people get the judgeship? You know how to get the judgeship? But legal opinions is very important for a lawyer.
It's not the kind of matter that judges can call the name, or lawyers will start calling the name.
So then why are you taking it as credible then if they don't want to call that name?
Because of the newspaper, the reporter is credible. You think if Mr. So report a story and refuse to give a source, I will not believe it?
Collins,
you think I will not believe it?
Okay, let me conclude.
This is not a CIA agent or FBI agent working on a cover. This is a judge for the Republic of Liberia.
Of the network.
Hello.
Collins, let me conclude. Yes. Finally, what I want to say here is that let us go back to the 2022 State Department report about the judiciary. The State Department report on the judiciary is clear. It's corrupt. They're not dependable. Those judges are all sitting down there. That one of those judges said they will not call money in that paper. That one of them there.
Okay.
Thank you.
Making the news fair, balanced, and proportional. Wow, what a good conversation this evening. I think there are a lot of.
So when Musluska is returning after the leave, when Terry?
Is indefinite.
But if the president is from your town, or what is it? Foya is not far from Kolaum. Call the man.
No, we gotta add the anonymous judge. What you going about is good.
Foya is right near Kolaum. Call the old man.
You got to pack Kolaum before you go to Foya.
Yeah, you can pack Kolaum before you go to Foya.
To even answer your question, the Ghanaian people are the nieces of the Gizi people.
But now I'm telling you, call the papi. As he say, when the old man going back to the place.
I'm not sure what I should just put this news.
You guys.
I think the justice minister, they just made a mistake. They should have put one phrase in there. Permanent leave of absence.
No, that want to be right in that country that the kid get is a permanent leave of absence.
Go back to jail.
He better go
to the right court proceeding under JMB leadership, and she will be vindicated.
She went under the right proceedings to be released on compassionate release.
To carry her to the right process, and she will be vindicated.
It was a revenge on CDC. It was a revenge.
Exactly.
It was a revenge.
What you have on your talking point tomorrow?
It was a revenge?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course.
She represented a Unity Party. She represented a Liberal Party. So she was one of those that represented it. So what they have to do? To exercise as a boy in jail.
Right.
That's true. Her niece didn't die or us. Nobody stabbed her to death. They just put in jail arbitrarily. Come on now.
No, but they leave is a payback.
The Liberal.
Now they leave that payback, not a conviction.
We gotta listen to the Liberal.
Hold on 1 second. I'm getting some information here, but it's we're waiting to see how that comes to light. Liberal, what are we getting tomorrow? We're hearing some account is being.
We're gonna. I encourage all of us to do some little perusing over the social media, and we're gonna have to do the same way we do it here all the time. Ask each of us of what is on our plate, and we have to discuss them each individually. Just don't come here on tomorrow's show If you think you're gonna be co-host of a conservative idea, it's not happening here tomorrow.
You're dressing it right wing. I told you right wing. These are what is that?
Right wing, bro. So you're not gonna have a co-host right wing here tomorrow.
Right wing.
So,
You dignify.
this is some
You want to call in tomorrow. And you want to call in with a real conversation. I got Chinese phone. They all know that now. So Elvis, if you can text me your email address, I will send you the email. So let me just call my phone at 916-533-2048. If you call that,
You're not in the chat room. I can send my email to you in the chat room on the WhatsApp.
Okay, send in the chat room, but our chat room full of all kind of.
Now Terry, if video they follow the chat room, all the insurance spoon video in that chat room.
Terry posting in the chat room are legitimately a concern about the country, but when you have the conservative trying to post things in the chat room, then they are different.
Don't mind Evans, They might Google thing out of because you get problem with it, man. That is only the thing that want to post that you like it, don't watch it.
They are right wing.
Okay, right wing.
I'm moderate Democrat.
All right, good night, folks.
Good night, folks.
All right, good night, guys.
Good night.
Which one of your friends' account being put on hold?
Nobody account on hold.
Okay, the news will come out in a very short time. Some major actors. Okay, guys, thank you so much. We will try to validate that information before we put it out there. Thank you so much. Okay, well, folks, that does it this evening. We want to thank you so much for sharing your evening with us right here on LPR.